to the Endless Slumber Party for this week. This week's topic will be the first appearance comics, or some of the first appearance comics I have in my collection. This is part one. I've got a few of them, so I'm going to do at least a part two. At the end of part two, you're going to discover which is the favorite one that I own, so the suspense is sure to keep people up at night all week as they wait. Not really. Okay, but we'll get right to it. Okay, got this out of order now. That's great. There we are. Okay, first one is Superboy number 127. Okay, well this is sort of a throwaway, it's just to get you warmed up. This was the first and possibly the last appearance of B-Boy as a sort of love interest, or he was at least interested in Lana, who, as you can see on the cover, was in her Insect Queen mode, where she put on the ring that an alien gave her, and she would become Insect Queen. It was a little bit like Green Lantern, except sort of a little more gross. B-Boy never quite took off like Wolverine did, for instance, but I remember reading a blog once, someone writing in that they had actually created B-Boy when they were 10 years old. It was something they sent in, and then DC wrote them back saying that they'd use the character, but I'm not sure if this is verified or not, so I don't know, but it was just one of these tidbits I came across on a blog reading the comments, so maybe it's true, and so whoever that kid was, so he was brilliant, because B-Boy was actually a really good story. It's quite notorious. I do see people talk about it, so it's kind of a cool one to have. Okay, the next one is one of my favorite first appearances that I own. All-Star Comics number 58, of course, when they brought back the Justice Society, and the big first appearance there was, of course, Power Girl, the analog to Supergirl in the Earth 2 universe. So, you know, I really like Power Girl. Like, when you think of it, she's almost like a knockoff of a knockoff in the sense of, you know, if you think of Supergirl as the female, just the female version of Superman, and then Power Girl is like just this other dimensional version of Supergirl, and yet somehow she's just sort of a great character anyway. I think she's kind of the opposite of Supergirl, because Supergirl is like really nice and gentle, and Power Girl is like, she really enjoys being super strong, and she likes being able to like punch through things and so forth. So she's kind of equal and opposite. And of course, she sort of seems like she dropped in from the Russ Meyer universe, but that's maybe a topic for a different time. Okay, next one is Showcase number 62, the first appearance of the Inferior Five. I love these guys. They're just, you know, just sort of like a spoof of superhero comics. I think they were kind of joking around about some of Marvel's stuff in a way, because of the way that these people are all sort of like, they have limitations and stuff, so that's what that is. I think my favorite copy on this is Merry Man, Our Leader. He used to be a 97-pound weakling before he lost weight. I don't know, that just sort of cracks me up. It said, campy 60s humor, and of course this is a cover with go-go checks, and I happen to like covers with go-go checks. I realize that for some people they don't like them, but to me it's like any era of anytime DC a comic I open and it's got go-go checks, it's always the kind of story that I like, so those are just the kind of story that I like. And speaking of interesting things that are on the cover, this is Archie's Madhouse number 36. This is an obscure first appearance. This is actually the first appearance of Sabrina's cat, Salem, who went on to become, sort of have this whole backstory where he's actually a warlock and that kind of thing, had been transformed from being human. That might have been something that they came up with in the sitcom, I'm not sure, but of course in the sitcom he was in there quite a lot as a sort of Toots is the driving cat kind of character, where he would sort of be a cat sometimes, and other times he's a very obvious but funny sort of puppet, and that's what was funny about it. So, but anyway, I like this cover a lot because I like this whole mock horror thing, and I like all the madhouses that have this interesting border. Okay, so the last one was actually like, it was like in a first part of the last one for this week was the first part in a three-parter. DC Comics presents number 27, which has the first appearance of the Superman enemy Mongol, however it's pronounced. He's great. I liked him. He's like this big, scary kind of guy, and of course, in this one, I think he's looking for the key to get Warworld, this gigantic Death Star sort of thing floating around out there that has missiles on it that are so powerful they can even kill Superman and Supergirl, which was going into number 28, which was the next part of that particular adventure. And then it continued going into number 29, which was then with the Spectre, and it, you know, I think in that one, Superman was somehow trying to break the barrier of all dimensions until you get beyond life and death, which was sort of interesting, a little bit metaphysical. Something else I liked about this run of DC Presents was that they had these whatever happened to features, and this, as a matter of fact, was the first time I ever heard of Congorilla, and I've never looked back. I don't know how I lived before I knew about Congorilla. No, seriously, it's just a very interesting idea for a character. So, and I kind of liked the whatever happened to features because they'd show you all these obscure characters and sort of things that were going on peripheral to all of what was going on with the main characters in the DC universe. So I kind of enjoyed them. So anyway, that's all I'm going to show for this week, but I've got a part 2 planned. And then at the end of that, you'll find out which is the favorite first appearance comic that I own. So try not to let the suspense kill you too much. Have a good week, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.